Hello and welcome as today's date comes in that of Friday, the 8th day of November, 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Within Bitcoin dominance, as far as 18 average is concerned, I've said this so many times, I want to see failure, weakness. I want to see this thing fail amongst the 18 average of lows for this to be a failed breakout. It might be doing that. It's showing signs potentially that that's the case. I realize with the resistance that it has established, getting above it should mean a move at least a previous high at 73. But if I see this thing start to break down below here, I'm going to be thinking that it's not only going to test, but probably break the resistance of 67. Of course, if it does test it, I'd be looking for this area to be resistance if there would be any in that area. But we'll see how it goes from this point on. Now, Bitcoin is going down, and Bitcoin dominance is also, so that means altcoins aren't going down quite as much, but the volatility is so low it's pretty much hanging in there with Bitcoin. But before we get to Bitcoin itself, let's look at the market cap of is this Bitcoin itself? Yeah, it's pretty much the same chart. I think this is the one that I'm looking for here. Crypto total market cap. But as it goes on the daily, most certainly in a correctionary phase, and where Bitcoin came from, let's now bring to that. It's now nearing its must-hold area for its intermediate short-term analysis. For in the longer term, having a move back to 63, well, if that happens, that's more of the longer-term support area. I'm looking at the must-hold area. Now, short-term, the must-hold area is around 84-ish or so, and right now it's at 87.46. And in viewing it here, let's use now the Bitstamp exchange for the drawing tools. And well, here is where it lies. This little big area where we came from, 84. Most certainly an important level, and really even like 8,000, 81, all this like 8,000 area, especially when I looked at maybe it was silver I was looking at earlier. Either way, we got this low, hold a higher low. It's general. This is where it should be. With that being said, let's take a look at this even further on the short term and take a look at this move. For a lot of this has been make a move and then do it sideways thing. There's just been so much of that on the Bitcoin realm. Here's your move. There's your sideways action. There's our move. This was our sideways action. So now the statement of the next move is that it's probably going to go down to its next key level. And to me, this is where next... When I used to go on the train, I remember hearing, next station stop, yada, yada. In Toronto, we didn't have Baton Rouge. We had Red Rouge, I think it was, as one of the station stops on the train. But you just know where you're going. And I think in this case, this is where it seems like it's going to go to. When viewing it on the 15-minute term, we had a sudden decline here at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and how has it reacted after the fact? Well, bulls aren't coming in right now, buying any of it up right now, as a lot of this has been going on. All right, so let's take a look at some altcoins next. And let's first start off with Tezos against that of Bitcoin, which came onto Binance on September the 24th. And so to my surprise, it didn't trade at that high of volume. And it really didn't trade that volatile. We established a resistance range at 1165, support here at 1050. That's a differential of like 10% for several days, which is extremely low. And then we had a sell-off down to this previous intra-opening day move. And well, what happened after that? Well, we had a move that came to the AT, successfully held this little rage move lower, and then getting above it. Just phenomenal situation. Taking a look at this, we even see on, say, the hourly. Well, the size of these periods got a little bit bigger here on the 1400 timestamp. Well, volatility is much bigger. Also, we've hit this high. What have we done since? Well, we still have successfully held and stayed above the 18 average of lows for this entire run while making lower highs. 1, 2, and all this little bit in here. So that's a good thing, bad thing, or things are getting symmetrical. So it's, at some point, it's going to have to change. You could probably maybe say, oh, the favorite might be that it goes below here. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know, and I think it would be. It's another way of putting it. Of course, risk reward, if this thing does manage on the short, any market like that, if you have a situation like this and you get above in this level after all of this correctionary move, the volatility that could lead forward there after the fact has the potential to be very large along the way. Now, before all of this happened, what we can see in here is that we established all of these resistance levels in here. This move here got us to where we came from on this low. And then when things are ready to go, they can just have phenomenal moves. And really, this is nothing much phenomenal because the overall volatility for the cryptos is poor. And you have a move that goes from 1,000 to 1,500. Oh, yay, 50%. Whether it's a real move or a failed move, we'll see in time, because I've seen so many failed moves happen in the crypto space. And I like them in the sense of a trader. If I can flip coins back and forth and get as many ratio trades with what I do, that's all fine and dandy. So whether on my journey destination, I'm playing coins at the destination of the cryptos working out, and for the most part, the majority of the coins that I like up top, like the Bitcoin Cash, the Litecoin, and I'm going to talk about Theta next as we talk about failed breakout. Those ones, as long as they do well and have their moves, then that's going to work out. Now, which individual play, whether a particular move is going to be real or not, I'm not trying to guess that. I don't need to. And I'll bring up Theta now. And if I do try to guess, I'm probably not going to bet on it. I'm not going to bet on this one here because I can guess that this is going to break down. Whether it does or not, we'll see. But what do I see amongst this 18 average here? And then this. So this was a failed breakout. I was making videos in here about Theta on the move, and I was selling Theta up here. Well, now I'm buying Theta back. I've never owned as many Theta as I do right now. My ownership of Theta is at an all-time high. And if the market breaks down below support, that number is going to only significantly go even higher than that again. Because I got a plan. If the market has a significant break and we see prices that are around like 700, 720, which would be about the area where I'd be like, okay, let's turn a few Bitcoin into that of Theta. And most likely if it does that, there's going to be some volatility movements where as long as Theta underperforms other markets it's in, all the increased coins on the ratios. Like for example, Theta against Tezos, when we had the ratio go up to 15, was as low as 7 point, well, almost a 2x move, but there was a Theta rally looking at it from the perspective down there, and on the 3-hour chart, there was Theta going up down in here, and now Theta going down, and of course, now in this case, Tezos going higher. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.